Hey guys, my name is Karen Page. I'm the CEO and founder of Clearstory. And if you're anything like me, you probably want to learn about the product first before talking to a human being. So the goal of this video is to give you guys an overview of Clearstory for general contractors and walk you guys through our philosophy of how we capture and close change order risk for all stakeholders on your projects. And really why, as a former general contractor myself, why I built the software. So I'll have a couple quick slides to help you guys visualize that. And then I'm going to jump into the software itself and give you guys a step-by-step demo. If you feel like this is something you guys want to explore more, please schedule some time with our team and let's go ahead and jump into it. So before we jump into a product demo, we wanted to walk you guys through a couple quick slides so you can get an understanding of how our system works to reduce change order risk for all stakeholders, not just you, the general contractor, but also your trade partners and your clients as well. So we'll do a couple quick slides just to give you a high-level overview of how the software works. So when I jump into the demo, you'll have some context around how these tools work together and really what it is that we do and how we fit into your process. So the first thing is our simple belief is that when project teams can capture and close change orders faster, all stakeholders win. So what we're trying to do is prevent this scenario where change orders stack up on a project, you come to the end of the job and you can't close it out because you're negotiating with your trade partners or worse, with your client. The final outcome. And so the faster you can resolve these things, the more proactive you can be in the process, the better it is for everyone. And why that's a challenge is what we've identified as the change order gap. We all have our own internal system of record as a general contractor, whether it's Sage or CMIC or Procore or Viewpoint or Autodesk Construction Cloud. That's where you do your project level financials. We are keeping track of potential change orders. You're committing those change orders to your budget. You're issuing updated change orders. But again, you want that system to be private. You want it to be where you're going to keep track of your forecast and really forecast whether or not you're going to make your fee on the job. But because those systems are private, we have to rely on tools typically outside of those systems to actually understand what's outstanding. And the most common document is the change order log, which, once a month we'll email and ask our subs for an updated change order log to understand what our risk exposure is. Then we use that document to cross-check and make sure we've entered everything into our system of record, review correspondence if we have questions, if the change order isn't broken down by labor, material, equipment, if the scope isn't right, if the tax rate's not right, if you need something changed. It's all done through email, or you download it to Bluebeam to mark it up. And of course, everyone's least favorite thing in construction is the T&M ticket. The extra work authorization to track field-directed extra work, whether it be for overtime, trade damage, paint touch-up. It's typically being tracked on carbon copy, and the process is slow, it's confusing, it's frustrating, and there's a ton of risk involved for all parties. And so for Clearstory, this is the gap that we focus on, is streamlining this process across all stakeholders so that you can get data into your system of record as fast as possible and understand where you really are with change order exposure on the job. And so for a general contractor, what that means is helping get data into your system of record faster so you can have more accurate forecasting and really understand where your jobs are. So again, the things that are below the iceberg, our job is to help bring them up to the surface as fast as possible so you have alignment and transparency with your trade partners. But you can also use us upstream with your client as well for an owner change order log to make sure they see everything in one place. And how it works is we focus on three specific areas: pricing exercises, field-directed extra works, T&M tickets, or what we call surprise changes or contractor-initiated changes. By focusing on those three buckets and making it a project requirement that no change order is valid until it's submitted on Clearstory, you will be able to pull a real-time change order log from each trade partner. The cool thing about Clearstory is that it's a network. So as you invite your trade partners to it, they create their own free account, and they can either upload change order requests or create T&M tickets that are automatically logged in your account. And then whether it's through an out-of-the-box integration like we have with Procore or CMIC or Viewpoint, you can push change order requests directly into your system of record. Or if you're using a different ERP, you can use this to align and make sure you understand what's outstanding. So specifically how it works is everything revolves around the shared change order request log. This can work downstream with your trade partners and upstream with your client. And the easiest way to get started is simply have your trade partners upload a PDF copy of their change order request into Clearstory. By doing that, you get to use all of our powerful review and correspondence tools. So if you have questions on the change order request, you can send them a real-time message. If you need to redline something or circle a rate, you can do that with the tools embedded directly in our software. And by doing that, we create an automated paper trail that includes the data was sent, when it was marked, revise, and resubmit, what the changes were, and a full version history of every time you've submitted a revision. All of that review process can be exported so you can show your client the work you did reviewing change orders on their behalf. From there, you can use either one of our out-of-the-box integrations, or with our API, you can push data into whatever system of record you have or business intelligence tool that you guys use. And you get all of that by just requiring your subs to upload a copy of their PDF. We can also backdate projects, so we can help you guys do a bulk upload and get change orders into an existing project. If you're worried about understanding your exposure, we can do that. But again, the effort of getting started with this is minimal. Think 30 minutes, you can have a project completely up and running in Clearstory with your trade partners invited. On top of that, though, we offer a bunch of workflow tools as well. So the big one is change notifications. So if you have a pricing exercise, an addendum, a bulletin that you want to send out to your trade partners and understand if there's a cost impact, you can pull those in from the project management tool you use or the file sharing tool you use. And you can send those to your trade partners. So you can give them a deadline. You can track who's opened it, who's responded, and then it pulls into our change order review process so you can review all the responses. Or your trade partner can simply say no cost impact. What you can also do with change notifications is authorize T&M work. So we have a really easy to use mobile app that your trade partners can download, and every T&M ticket they create on a project can be automatically logged in your T&M log. So you'll never have a scenario with your superintendent signing a T&M ticket out on the job site and you not knowing about it for weeks or months later. Everything is real time, everything is cloud-based. And what's really powerful, if your trade partners upload their approved labor rates, they can automatically price the T&M tickets in a separate change order request that gets added to the COR log. So you'll never have that visibility gap between the date the tag was signed and the date that they priced out the change order request. And by using all three of these tools together, you can capture all your change order risk in one spot and always have an up-to-date change order log across every single trade partner and all of your projects. So it's a really powerful way to capture change order risk and make sure we get data into your system of record faster. And with that, I'll jump right into the demo and show you guys how it works. All right, now I'm gonna give you guys a quick walkthrough of Clearstory and show you guys how you can use it to capture all your change order risk in one spot, both downstream with your trade partners and also upstream with your client. The first thing I'll say is whenever anyone logs into Clearstory, they log into the same software in the same view. So if you invite trade partners to the software, their experience is going to be very similar to how you're going to use it. So you'll be able, if they have questions, you'll be able to help them. But on top of that, we offer customer success who can help do trainings for you or for any of your trade partners. We also offer a general contractor playbook that has email templates you can send to your trade partners to help get them in the software. We also offer contract language that you're welcome to copy and paste and put in your exhibits or your subcontract language. But the key things I'm going to show you in this demo are the cloud-based change order log, the cloud-based T&M log, change notifications, and some of the analytics. So the first thing I'm going to show you is I'm going to jump into the COR log. And what you're looking at here is a cloud-based change order log. And every line item is automatically created for you with no manual data entry, but it's created whenever a subcontractor sends you a change order request. So right now I'm looking at my received change order requests, so ones that have been sent to me from my downstream trade partners. But if I'm using it upstream with my client, I would simply flip over to the sent log and I'd be able to view every sent change order request that I've sent to all of my clients on every project. So jumping back to the receive side, if I were to come in here and look at a change order log on one project for one trade partner, I could simply come in here and filter for an individual job. And once I've filtered for that, I could filter for that individual contractor. So instead of me emailing my subcontractor and asking for an updated change order log, I could simply come into Clearstory and find it immediately. And what's so powerful is by them sending you a change order request, all this structured data comes in. So we can see their COR number, the title, the date it was submitted, your PCO number, obviously which contractor, how much they requested, the T&M number, how long it's been aging, and a whole bunch more data that you guys can manage across all of your columns in here. The really powerful part, though, is whenever you want to view a change order request and do your review, you simply click that button and it'll open up a PDF of the change order request in our change order review page. On the left, we have the structured data with all the stuff that I just walked over in those columns. But on the right, we have the activity feed, which is really a digital paper trail for that change order request. So you can see who created it, who it was sent to, and then once you start doing your review, you have a history of all the comments you've made on this change order request. And then at the top, you have this toolbar where you can select to actually do call outs for your review process. So if I thought this bond rate was right, I can mark this up and say, this is not the correct rate. And once I've posted this, I can then come in here and request a revision, send this back to my trade partner, marked as revise and resubmit, and I can track when and how they submit a revision. As they submit revisions, I can come up here and I can go back in time and look at any old history of that change order request. If you're trying to show to your client the review process that you go through, this is a really powerful way to show it to them. And what we do to help with that is you can actually download this PDF and include all of your activity and back and forth you've done with the trade partner to show them why the change order request is valid and show them all the work your team has done. Now, one thing before I jump to the T&M log is I'll show you, this is an example of one of Clearstory's change order request templates. You can have your trade partners use this as a cover sheet to fill out the labor, material, and equipment. And what's so powerful about it is that it standardizes the documentation that your teams review. So it's easier for them to digest and understand the pricing of a change order request. But it also helps to share it upstream with your client as a value add that you bring to the project. Our templates are broken down by labor, material, and equipment. They have the markup rates built in there. And the next thing I'll show is our T&M tickets. So this is an example of what a Clearstory T&M tag looks like. The obvious big change here is that they're not handwritten. They're easy to read. It's a clear breakdown of the quantities of labor, material, equipment, and you can collect digital signatures. What's more is your trade partners can actually take photos of their work as part of the backup for every T&M ticket. And I'll show you guys how our T&M stuff works in just a second here. So jumping over, this is our T&M log, and it works the same way as the change order request log. You have a receive tab and you have a send tab. So if you're a self-performing general contractor, you can use this to track your own T&M, or you can invite your trade partners and track their T&M. Similar concept, every T&M ticket that gets created is automatically logged here. And at the top, you can see a summary of all the labor hours related to whatever you're filtering for. And so if you have a PCO number and you want to track a certain amount of hours against a certain amount of T&M tickets, you simply filter by that PCO number, and you can see a roll-up report of all of those labor hours. You can also export this to Excel or PDF, and you can customize the visibility the same way you do on the change order log. What's really cool for general contractors is our change notifications. So change notifications you can use in two different ways. The first way to use it is to send out a pricing request. So if you have an ASI, an addendum, a bulletin, you can send it to your trade partners, set a deadline of when to respond, and monitor the response of all of those cost impacts. Your trade partner can respond by saying no cost impact, or they can upload a change order request. But what you can also do from change notifications is authorize T&M work. So if you want them to work on Saturday, you simply create a change notification, mark it authorize T&M work, and it creates a T&M tag shared between you and your trade partner that they're going to fill out through our system and go through the signature process and ultimately link it back to a change order request. So if I jump into one of these, what you'll see is that this change notification has been sent to 4 trade partners. The pricing is overdue. This is my demo account is a little out of date here. You can tell when they've opened the email, when they've downloaded the files. You can come in here and do your internal estimate. And then we track what the actual cost impact is, what the projected cost impact is. And we also integrate with Procore to push into change events and things like that. What's cool is they can either respond by marking it no cost impact or submitting a change order request. And as they submit change order requests, every line item will be linked here. At the top, also, you can see the status summary of how many trade partners you send it to, how many have responded, etc. And then back here in the log, you can also filter between authorizations and pricing requests as well. The last thing I'll jump into, which is really more on the executive level, is our days agent report. And what's so powerful about this is if you're a project manager managing multiple jobs, or maybe you're a project executive or VP, you can actually now get a real-time view across all of your projects, which ones have change order requests outstanding the longest. And this is so powerful because you don't have to tap your PM on the shoulder and ask them to go through a huge exercise of collecting change order logs and trying to understand the cost exposure with all of the trade partners. You simply come in here, and if you did see a job that had $417,000 of change order requests aging beyond 120 days, you would want to have a proactive conversation with that project manager. And by using technology like Clearstory, it makes that effortless and transparent so you don't have projects that run into change order issues. The last thing I'll quickly touch on is we integrate with a lot of systems of record. So whether it's a project management tool where maybe we're pulling files in or sending documents out, we integrate with things like PlanGrid and Procore, but we also integrate with a lot of financial systems where you can push PCO data from Clearstory directly into your system of record. And we have a lot more in the works today. So that's a high level overview. I hope this helps. It's meant to be high level. So if you guys do have questions, reach out to us, you can schedule through our website a demo, and we'd love to talk to you guys.